Okay guys, today we are going to draw a ray diagram for this sample problem. Now it has two steps. Well, there are two exercises, by the way, but we're gonna focus on the first one, okay? We are talking about a square object that is placed 15 centimeters in front of a concave mirror with a focal length of 25 centimeters. So first of all, we need to write those givens. So we have object that is placed 15 centimeters. This is my P equals 15 centimeters. Remember that for ray diagram it's good for us to use those centimeters. Now it says that it has a focal length, the mirror has a focal length of 25 centimeters. Now I didn't specify the scale, but as I am seeing, both numbers are multiples of 5, so I will use 5 as a scale. My scale for this problem will be 5 to 1. Now, I always draw first my axis. That's just a horizontal line in which I will draw my object. As we are talking about a square object, well, I will draw it right here. Okay, that is my object. Now, as my scale is 5 to 1, I will need to convert this in order to draw. So my P, after I use my scale, will be 15 divided by 5 equals 3 centimeters. And my focal length will be 25 divided by 5 centimeters. So, my object is placed 15 centimeters in front of a concave mirror. Okay, so I will measure from my object, I will measure 3 centimeters. Now we usually imagine this is the center of my object, so we measure the distance from the object center mass to the mirror. As we are talking about, this mirror is 3 centimeters away. The object is 3 centimeters away. I'm going to start measuring. From 0 to 1 I have 1 centimeter, 2, 3 centimeters. So here in this point I will place my concave mirror, and here I will specify that I have P distance. And we have P equals 15 centimeters. Now, what I do to draw the mirror, the concave mirror, what I do is I use a protractor, okay? So I'm gonna place it exactly where I need it, that is right there, okay? That is a better, okay, that tells me where my mirror is. Now, where is my focal length? My focal length is 25 centimeters away from the mirror, so that means that the focal length is behind the object. So I will measure 5 centimeters, that is the one that I use for scale, exactly measure from my mirror. So I'm gonna put my ruler right here So from the mirror I will start counting exactly 5 centimeters. So I have here from 0 to 1 I have 1 centimeter, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here in this point I will have my focal length. Okay, that is the point F. So in this point is when we actually start looking to the table that I gave you. Now take a look. We have an object that is between the mirror and the focal length, so we need to find the situation in this table. Now, because the object is between the focal length and the mirror, the only situation in which it occurs is situation number 6, object inside F, object inside a focal length. So by this I know that my image will be virtual, upright, and it will be at C with a magnification more than 1. Now remember, how do we calculate C? The center of curvature is equal twice the focal length. So if I have a focal length that is 25 centimeters, so my center of curvature will be 50 centimeters. 25 times 2, 50. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to place my center of curvature in my ray diagram. It's measured, remember, always from the mirror. So I'm gonna measure 50 centimeters. I have to use my scale too. Using my scale will be C equals 50 divided by 5, 10 centimeters. From the mirror I'm going to measure 10 centimeters. So as you can see, from 0 to 10 is right here. In this point I have my center of curvature. Now I'm going to use the table as a guideline. It says that the first ray comes from the top of my object, horizontally touches the mirror, and then crosses through the focal length. So that's what I'm going to do. My first ray will be I will do it in green, my first ray. So I have my line right here, horizontally from the top of my object. I touch the mirror, and then it passes through the focal point that is right there. This is the center of mass, the center of curvature, sorry. So my ray diagram looks like this, my first ray. Now my second ray, now take a look. Now this ray is going to be projected in the back of the mirror. So you will project a dashed line in the back of the mirror like I did over there. That is the first ray. So it comes from the top of the object, returns in this position. Okay. Now my second ray. Now my second ray comes, as you can see, as a dashed line from the focal length until it touches the mirror, touches the top of my object, but also then the mirror. So from my focal length a dashed line until it touches the mirror. From that, the ray is horizontally projected to the left. This is my second ray. As you can see also, the second ray has a projection in the back of the mirror. So what you have to do is continue, but with a dashed line after the mirror, like this. Okay. As I know these two lines must do an intersection, what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep projecting the line before. Okay. Now, for my third line, take a look of the image. It comes from the intersection point. It touches the mirror and then returns until the point C. So where is it coming from? It's coming from the dash line in the back. I'm gonna use a different color for this. Maybe red is good. Who knows? Okay. So what's gonna happen? It comes from the back. Remember that in the back of the mirror we draw a dash line. Now, it says that it touches the object and it crosses the point C. So this is my third ray. Now, where is my image going to be projected? Right there when where the three lines join. That is, as you can see, if you project all the dash line, if you project all the rays, they will be crossing in this point. Now, in this point where they are being, when they join, when they cross, in this point, that is maybe here, my object will be projected. Now, how large? Well, as you can see, the object is being enlarged. Okay, now it's gonna have this size, and I will draw my object right here, as it is a square. It's gonna be something like this. As it is my projected image, I'm not going to color it. Okay, just to express that this is the image and this is my main object. So remember, we take the now, how is the image? As you can see, this image is, if we need to write a conclusion, it will be magnification more than 1 because it is larger. That's a larger object. More than 1. What else? The image is virtual, as you can see here, virtual, and also upright. That is what you have to write as a conclusion of the object, of the image formed.